This is the Everyday AI Show, the everyday podcast where we simplify AI and bring its power to your fingertips. Listen daily for practical advice to boost your career, business, and everyday life.
You're using ChatGPT incorrectly. You're not doing it right. That's one thing. That's actually the main thing we're going to be talking about today on Everyday AI. I am your host, Jordan Wilson, guiding you through ChatGPT and how to use it better. But before we do that, here's a reminder. This is a live stream. This is for you to answer your questions, your burning questions about ChatGPT or anything else. But before we get to your questions and get into why you're using ChatGPT wrong, let's first look at the AI news. All right. So we do this every day, every weekday, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. We come to you and we bring you what's happening in AI news. You can spend hours, countless hours a day trying to keep up, or you can tune in every day to Everyday AI. It's your choice. All right. So let's round down some of the biggest pieces of news today in AI. So OpenAI is stealing data. At least that's according to the Clarkson law firm that's filing what they're trying to make a class action lawsuit, accusing OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, for hoarding vast amounts of personal data. They're obviously seeking class action status on this. This will be interesting to see how this plays out. I think this is one of the first larger potential class action lawsuits we've seen kind of be levied against OpenAI. I'm sure they have the world's largest legal team. Anyways, so the second piece of news, and again, we'll be sharing these all in our daily newsletter, so make sure you go to youreverydayai.com. So a new report from The Verge is essentially Meta is spilling the beans on how AI influences what we see on social media. So how AI impacts everything you see on your feed on Instagram, Facebook. They went into great depth and provided a good amount of detail as well. So definitely check that article out. Next, we have a new study on AI's rapid adoption and what that means for mental health. This is important. It's something we don't talk about a lot. So this was unveiled, this study was unveiled by leaders at the KPMG Women's Leadership Summit, I believe yesterday. So they said a survey of executive women found that 91% perceived an exponential surge of stress in the workplace compared to pre-pandemic levels. And a lot of that was attributed to that rapid adoption of AI. It's something that we're not talking about enough, and I think we need to. AI is great, but it is going to make everyone, at least this is my personal opinion, and we talk about it here on the show, in the coming months and years, your efficiency, your employer is going to expect your efficiency to go up exponentially. Once employers learn how to use all these AI tools, they're going to expect you to. Definitely check out that article as well. Last but not least, there's a big chip controversy. So not the chocolate chips or potato chips, but the computer chips. So NVIDIA is warning that the new U.S. restrictions on chip sales to China could lead to a permanent loss of opportunity. So why are we talking about chips on an Everyday AI show? All right. So whether you have noticed this or not, it's actually chip makers and companies involved in AI that are propelling the U.S. economy. So obviously, the Everyday AI show is based here in Chicago, but we have listeners, all over the globe. Shout out, all you people in New Zealand in that area. We're always getting a lot of listens over there. But so the chip makers, specifically NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, and companies in generative AI, Google, Meta, IBM. So those things are driving the U.S. economy. So when a big player like NVIDIA is saying, hey, This is going to take away permanent loss of opportunity that affects the everyday person. That affects what we're talking about today. Okay. Can't wait. We already have a ton of comments. Okay. So, as a reminder, if you are listening to this live, I hope that you're going to take advantage of what we talk about today. So, we're talking about everything you're getting wrong about ChatGPT. But if you are listening to this on the podcast, check the show notes. We're going to have a link in there to a LinkedIn thread. So you can come in, ask me questions if you want. You can read what other people are talking about, find out some more resources. So please join us. So, but for those of you live, let's get to it. And please leave a question, leave a comment. We already have some going. So without further ado, let's talk about everything you're getting wrong about ChatGPT. All right, here we go. As a reminder, look at that. We already have Dr. Harvey Castro on some materials here. Shout out, Dr. Harvey. So Everyday AI is a live stream podcast and newsletter. I just wanted to throw that out there before we get started. It's important. All right. So the first thing that you're doing wrong with ChatGPT is you're using the wrong version. Okay. There's a free version and there's a paid version. All right. So I know that it's $20 a month. So $20 a month means different things to different people. And I want to be cognizant of that $20 in other countries or for people, that are going through, really tough financial times, that can be a barrier. If you are, buying yourself coffee every day, if you are going out to eat a couple times a week and you are not using the paid version of ChatGPT, you are not spending your money wisely. I will just say that, okay? If you don't have the paid plan for the $20 a month for ChatGPT, you are wasting your money. All right? I'm putting it out there. If you disagree, go ahead and leave me a comment. I do want to get to some of these comments here. So thank you for tuning in, SM, Leonard, Chicago. Leonard's doing great things with Midjourney AI art. It is a loaded choice, yes. Dr. Harvey Castro, he'll check the article out. Thank you. Let me just make sure. Greetings from Ireland. All right, Matthew, thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. All right. We have a lot of, yes, and I agree, Leonard. ChatGPT is greater than Starbucks to the millionth power and beyond. Okay, let's get back into it and talk about more ways that you're just getting things wrong about ChatGPT. So we actually do a couple times a week free ChatGPT training. If anyone listening to this has taken it, maybe drop a comment if you think it was good or not. But if you want to know information, all you have to do is just type in PPP. It's a free course. We don't sell anything. We just want people to be better at ChatGPT. Okay. The next way that you're using ChatGPT in the wrong way is you're using it in the wrong year. Okay. So this is mistake number one and mistake number two. Mistake number one is you're using the free version. An analogy that I like to use is, most of us have a smartphone here, it is the equivalent, people who say, oh, I don't need the paid version. I can make do with the free version because, there's all these external, Chrome extensions that give it so much power. No, the difference is the paid version is a smartphone, the newest smartphone. The free version is whatever came before the flip phone, right? That's not a drag at the free version of ChatGPT. I'm just saying comparatively, right? Because obviously the free version of ChatGPT is groundbreaking. It is probably, in my opinion, something that you would, in the footnotes of history, it is in there with the invention of the internet or high-speed internet, right? I would say so, but you're using the wrong year. So even if you have the paid plan, a lot of people don't know this, you still have to enable different modes. So either there's the default, there's plugins, there's web browser, and there's a code interpreter. So most people are probably using web browsing or plugins. So if you're not using those, you are still stuck in pre-2021. So as a reminder, what ChatGPT is, it's a large language model. It is built off of data and information, essentially scraped from the internet, only up through September 2021. So, I mean, 7 months ago, yeah, that was still problematic, but now that's almost a lifetime ago. That's almost 2 years ago. So there's very few, in my opinion, unless you're, talking about US history or something that just doesn't change, like the Cubs being bad every year. I'm a Cubs fan, so I can say that. But if you're talking about something that just doesn't change, there's not many things like that. Everything is changing, everything evolving. So the free version of ChatGPT that has a knowledge cutoff at September 2021 is not always very helpful. Even if you're in education, like whatever you may be using it for, our society changes. New facts come out, old facts get erased and updated. You're using the wrong year. And by default, even on the paid plan, it's going to go to that knowledge cutoff. The default GPT-4 is still cut off at 2021. So you have to enable either web or plugins, and then even in plugins, again, not to get too in the weeds here, but you have to have certain plugins to make sure you can access the internet and access new and relevant information. All right. Wow. This is amazing. We have people from all over the place. Shout out. Yeah. If you're listening live, I want to see what other countries we have. Valeriano, Colombia. Thank you for joining us. Brownwind, South Africa. Amazing. Love South Africa. Okay. So, and sorry if I didn't get your names right. It's early. The coffee hasn't kicked in. Let's keep going. Another way that you're using ChatGPT in the wrong way is you're not using ChatGPT as your executive assistant. Okay. We're nearing our 50th episode of Everyday AI, again on podcast and live stream. But I've had so many smart CEOs, people who run big companies, small companies, solopreneurs. Some of the people who are using ChatGPT to its highest potential have talked about how they have turned ChatGPT into their executive assistant. Okay, it's an amazing use case, but we're all doing it wrong. Why isn't every single person using ChatGPT as their executive assistant? I'm going to show you how, because you have to be organized with ChatGPT. All right, I'm going to try to take questions as I see them. So hopefully this is still relevant. Rastafa is asking, he says, great advice for current users. What's the parallel advice for students thinking of college? Students should be paying $20 a month to use this. Here's the thing. College students, they're writing their papers with ChatGPT, period. Their papers would be better if they wrote them with the paid version and not the free version, right? Even the quality, it's not just the knowledge, but think of the smartphone. Think of how many more features, right? We're not just talking phone calls. How many more features today's cell phone has than that first antenna flip phone? And even the quality of the call, right? Like the first cell phones, you couldn't get reception anywhere. The call quality was terrible. Now the call quality is great. So even the quality of the paid is better. But yeah, students should be using ChatGPT 100%. But the education system needs to get it figured out because, if professors or deans of schools or university presidents think that they can prohibit ChatGPT, you can't. Students are smart. Students are smart at finding shortcuts. They're going to find them. So I know there's some great people here on LinkedIn that are already doing things and everywhere, but doing great things to properly incorporate ChatGPT into the classroom. It should be. That's my side tangent. Yes, Gerald, greetings from Chicago. Gerald is putting together an AI summit that I'm talking at in a couple of weeks. So shout out to that. Should be exciting. Harvey using ChatGPT to brainstorm. Absolutely. Just going through some of the comments here. Leonard, it's a great study tool and role play tool. He has a few posts about EDU use cases. Perfect. Leonard, I'm here for self-promotion. Go ahead and drop those in the comments if you want so people can read them. All right, let's keep going. Another way that you're using, that you're just all wrong about ChatGPT, is you're not training chats to be your dedicated employees playing a role. So what does that mean?
Are you still running in circles trying to figure out how to actually grow your business with AI? Maybe your company has been tinkering with large language models for a year or more, but can't really get traction to find ROI on Gen AI. Hey, this is Jordan Wilson, host of this very podcast. Companies like Adobe, Microsoft, and NVIDIA have partnered with us because they trust our expertise in educating the masses around generative AI to get ahead. And some of the most innovative companies in the country hire us to help with their AI strategy and to train hundreds of their employees on how to use Gen AI. So whether you're looking for ChatGPT training for thousands or just need help building your front-end AI strategy, you can partner with us too, just like some of the biggest companies in the world do. Go to youreverydayai.com/partner to get in contact with our team, or you can just click on the partner section of our website. We'll help you stop running in those AI circles and help get your team ahead and build a straight path to ROI on Gen AI.
All of those chats. Okay. I'm going to see if I can, show my screen here. I actually won't, because then I'm going to probably lose my little slides. But your chats, if you look on the left-hand side, they're all probably random if you're not using ChatGPT right. Look at all of those chats as a dedicated employee playing a dedicated role. Okay. And we're also going to talk about this in a couple of slides. But so let's say you start a new chat. You should be doing what's called plugin packs. We talk about that in our PPP course. Prime, prompt polish. If you want to access, I don't just open it up to anyone, but if you're listening, type in PPP, I'll send it to you. But all of those chats should be dedicated employees, and you need to give your employees the resources and tools that they need. So what that means is paid. You need to be on the paid plan, and either you need to give them web access or you need to give them a specific set of plugins, right? So we're going to talk in a few slides in a few seconds here about some different use cases, but all of those chats, you need to be treating them as a dedicated employee with a dedicated role to play. If you were to go in and let's say you're in charge of training someone new on your team and your company, whatever, you wouldn't just go in and start giving them roles or you wouldn't give them tasks in marketing and advertising and data science and biology and 50 different subject matters. You would pretty much ideally be giving them tasks in one specific role, and you would train them and you would give them the tools for that one specific role. That is the other biggest mistake, I'd say. I should have put this maybe up top, that people are making, is they're just using their chats haphazardly, right? They're just going in, maybe they're just clicking on their last chat that was maybe about a paper that they were writing for school, and then they're trying to ask it about something completely unrelated. That's not how ChatGPT works. You need to be training these chats like you would be training an employee. Give them the tools, build them up, but also keep their roles and responsibilities separate. Doesn't cost you anything to click the new chat button in ChatGPT and to start training that new chat in a new role. Okay. Leave a comment. Oh, cool. We got some people with the PPP. I'll send all that info over to you. But leave a comment if you have more questions about that. If you're listening on the podcast, send me an email. Does that make sense? How you should be training these different chats. Okay. We're going to talk about that again here in a second. All right. Here's the other problem. Why you're using ChatGPT in the wrong way. You're using it just for writing. That's terrible. It's terrible, right? Don't get me wrong. ChatGPT is amazing at writing. I talk about this on the show frequently. I've been getting paid to write for 20 years. I was working as a full-time journalist as a teenager. I was writing sports stories at the Freeport Journal-Standard. Shout out to all the old JS crew. But I've been getting paid to write for 20 years in some way, shape, or form. ChatGPT is better at writing than me, period. But only if you train it. You see all these terrible viral posts on LinkedIn, Twitter, on the internet saying, oh, ChatGPT can't write. ChatGPT can never replace a human writer. Yes, it can. It's just because most people put garbage in and they get garbage out. But more about that in a second. So mistake, you're using ChatGPT for writing only. Here's a little acronym. I'm going to be, I'm always updating this PPP course. So maybe if you took it like 3 weeks ago, and if you want to take it again, you should. I'm going to be adding this in there. But other big categories that you should be using ChatGPT for, aside from writing, is to organize, analyze, research, and summarize. All right, let's talk about that. Organize. You can organize your day. You can organize your workflow. ChatGPT isn't just for writing papers or doing some work-related project. Especially with plugins, you can use ChatGPT to run your life. I should be doing this more. I talk about it. I should be doing it more. You can say, copy in your calendar. You can say, here's what I'm trying to do. Help me, right? And it will organize whatever, your personal life, your professional life. It'll organize it if you ask it to. Give it information. Love it. I use it as a study aid to learn all the time. Analyze. People aren't using ChatGPT to analyze, mainly because they're not using ChatGPT correctly. And they're trying, but they're not analyzing correctly. You need to be on the pro version. You need to be on the right mode. Personally, not a big fan of web browsing because there's better plugins, I think, that browse the web just as well as ChatGPT's default web browsing, which is through their integration and partnership with Microsoft Bing. For me, Bing, the Bing browsing doesn't always do it. And if you just use one of the browsing plugins, then you can add more plugins to the mix. All right. So we talk about that more in the course. Again, just type in PPP if you want free access to that. It's literally free. There's no upsell. Someone was asking me yesterday, what's the catch? It's like, there's no catch. You're smarter now. You can do more things now at your job. So it's awesome. Okay. Research. You have to be using the right mode. A great, easy way to research. Let's say you're doing competitive research. Let's say you're an entrepreneur or you run a department at a large organization. And usually you're looking at your competitors. Put in all their links, put in their press releases, their PDFs, their YouTube videos, all of them. And say, hey, ChatGPT, here's my 5 competitors. Here's all the links that they've been, putting their things out. Compare my stuff to theirs, right? That sounds like so simple, but do you have time, right? If you're at a big company or a fast-moving industry, I know CEOs who spend so much of their day reading manually or manually tracking what their competitors are doing. You should be doing that, yes, but not manually. You should be using ChatGPT because they can do it in seconds. What literal CEOs, high-paid people, directors are spending hours a day doing this, that could be done in seconds in ChatGPT. And a lot of times it's like, oh, I don't want to pay $20. Well, you should. All right. And then to summarize. So kind of talked about that as well. So researching and summarize can kind of blend, but stop using ChatGPT just to write. Use it to organize, analyze, research, and summarize. A lot of questions. Sorry, I missed them. Yes, I will share the email. You can always hit us up. It's just info@youreverydayai.com. So if you did want to reach out, you can do that. Also, you can just go to the Everyday AI website, drop me a DM here on LinkedIn. Always happy to reach out and answer any questions. Let's see if I can do this right too. Dropping comment there. We'll see if it goes through. All right, next, let's keep going. What other questions do you have? This one's going a little long. We always try to bring you the daily live stream in 15 to 20 minutes. We're a little long, but that's okay. I want to get to your questions as well. So you're using ChatGPT with prompts only. This is my biggest pet peeve. Have any of you seen these tweets, these LinkedIn posts, these carousels, whatever? Hey, these are the 20 prompts that you need to save 20 hours a day. It's funny. I don't know if anyone's actually said these prompts will save you 20 hours a day, but I wouldn't be surprised, like how sensationalized some of these people are trying to share their prompts. Prompts don't help you. I'm sorry. You can try all the super prompts that you want. Still, they are not going to be as good. All these great prompts that you see online that'll save you so much time, they're not going to be as good as if you train that chat employee up. So again, you can think of these big prompts like this. It's an employee. ChatGPT is your employee. An employee comes in. Are you going to sit there and go back and forth and build up their skill sets and have a conversation and say, what else do you need from me? That's how you should be using ChatGPT, by the way. Are you going to do that to get the most out of your employee? Or are they going to sit down, no hello, no telling them anything, and you're going to give them a monster prompt, right? Like, hey, nice to meet you. It's your first day here. I'm going to talk now for 90 seconds and expect you to perform at a high level. Stop doing these super prompts. Just because you can get a C plus, a B minus result doesn't mean you should be doing it, okay? Just because we had that first flip phone doesn't mean we should have stopped there. Now we have cool smartphones, all right? So stop just using these prompts. You need to prime, prompt, polish. Again, that's our PPP method. Patent pending, maybe. So drop PPP in the chat and I'll make sure to send access. I don't know if my comment went through, so I'll have to make sure I do that. All right. The next way you're using ChatGPT wrong is you're not giving it these things: specifics, a role, context, tone, and mentoring. Mentoring was a new one. So Louise in our PPP course said, it sounds like we should be mentoring our chats. And I said, yes, we should be. We're going to start using that word now. So yes, mentoring. All right. And as a reminder, now I have the correct. So if you are joining us live, I just dropped some of those links in the chat there. So you need to be giving ChatGPT all of those things: specific information, a role to play, context, tone, and mentoring. The mentoring thing is actually big because you need to be doing on the back end. That's kind of our polish, what we talk about in the course. But after you put in, quote unquote, your prompt, whatever that prompt is, you can't be satisfied with the first draft, right? As a former journalist, you never publish the first version of a story. There's always more. There's always more to be had. There's always more information. There's always, you can take words out. You can make something better. So never publish the first one. I'm going to try to get some of these comments. I'm sorry, there's a lot of them coming in. So let's see. Okay. Cool. Top 10 ChatGPT plugins. Rastafa is asking. I'll share those. So again, I'll share those in the PPP course. Peggy Snyder Haas, still learning. That's great. All right. That's actually my mom. So shout out, Mom. All right. Bing is slow as heck. Leonard says, so slow. Yes. Leonard, are you talking about Bing in general or the Bing web browsing? But if you're talking about the web browsing in ChatGPT, I agree. It's in beta. It's supposed to be improving, but yeah, it times out for me all the time. Maybrit, shout out. PPP says she thinks she should take it again. Wow, that's great. Love that. Rastafa, SWOT is amazing. I've been using it to make real-time decisions. Yeah, you can use ChatGPT for SWOT analysis, right? So strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. The crazy thing is there's literally companies that do branding, brand strategy, and they always do SWOT, right? And they charge you so much. Like, I'm going to be very interested in what happens in the brand strategy space. ChatGPT is great for that. You don't need to, so this is crazy because companies have paid us to do their brand strategy pre-ChatGPT, but now if someone said, hey, I'm going to give you $100,000 to do this, I'd be like, well, maybe, but let's knock it down and let's use ChatGPT together because it's better. It's better. I'm sorry. ChatGPT brand strategy, if you use it correctly, is going to be better than any other human who has brand strategy experience. People are going to argue with that, but it's true. Brownwind PPP, I'll send it over. All right. I think we're almost to the end of the comments here. Jordan, how do you deal with unwanted changes when making updates with ChatGPT? Unwanted changes when making updates with ChatGPT. Rastafa, I'm not exactly sure what the context of the question was. Maybe you sent it when I was talking about something. So unwanted changes, I'm not sure. If you're using ChatGPT correctly, there's usually not any unwanted changes because you are in more control. I think when people are seeing unwanted results from ChatGPT, it's normally because they're either using the free version or they're using the wrong mode. So, default plugin web, or they're using the correct mode incorrectly, if that makes sense. All right. Let me make sure I didn't skip over anything here. All right. This one is big. We kind of already touched on it, but a mistake that you're making is you're not training and saving your expert chats. Okay. All those chats on the left-hand side, you should be naming them. Again, they're employees. Give them a name. Are you using plugins? I'll use a code word like this. I'll say 1PL. That's one plugin. Or I'll say 3PL, 3 plugins. And I'll say, this is everyday AI copywriting, or, this is web access. So, WA competitive analysis, right? Because when you spend so much time training these chats, you need to come back to them and you need to go to the right person. Okay. That's a huge mistake. No one is talking about this. No one. I don't know why. I probably sound like an old man yelling on the porch. No one is doing their chat GPTs correctly. All of these chats, you need to train them up. You need to name them properly, and you need to go back and use them for their intended purpose. Don't just have one chat that you keep changing its role all the time. An employee would be confused if every day it played a different role, and that knowledge would go away. Okay. Also, again, I know I keep plugging this, but I can't get to it all in the live podcast. Say PPP in the comments, because there's a couple very important things you need to do when training up your chats. Otherwise, you're going to lose it all. All right. Another big mistake you're using with ChatGPT. This one you might be looking at and saying it doesn't make sense. You're still using Google. All right. So Google's rolling out, even Google is rolling out SGE. I believe that's the acronym, the Search Generative Experience, where they're changing even their kind of default search to have more inclusion from Google Bard. Okay. So the Search Generative Experience, even Google is starting to quote unquote phase out traditional Google, and they're bringing in kind of these AI results. So if you've been using Microsoft Bing, they've been doing this a little bit recently in testing. But if you're still using Google and you have the paid version of ChatGPT, you should stop. One thing I encourage people to do, set chat.openai.com. I believe that's the default, right? Let's see. Yes, chat.openai.com. Set that as your default on your default homepage on your phone, on your computer. It sounds weird, but if you are using ChatGPT correctly, you are going to save so much time. A lot of times Googling leads to rabbit holes. It leads to, I'm going to click on this ad now, and now I'm reading sports news, right? I started to research, machine learning, and now I'm reading sports news. Retargeting is going to catch you, one way or another. So stay in ChatGPT. It's also better. It's faster, right? Instead of reading those 20 articles, which could take hours if you're researching something, instead, you can get a culmination or a comprehensive overview of all of those instances in one chat. All right. Let me see. Okay. I think I got all the questions. Okay. Leonard, LinkedIn messaging has an AI composer today. Was that there yesterday? I do not have it yet. I don't believe. I'm checking now. I don't have it. So no, LinkedIn announced this like a month or two ago, but then they re-announced it and said that it was going to be rolling out. So they do it to different people at different times. So yeah, LinkedIn has said that they're going to release some generative AI text capabilities for post. Hopefully they don't do it for comments, but yeah, it's been slowly rolling out. All right. I already said this enough, but another mistake you're making is you're not taking our free PPP class. So drop that there. All right. That's it, y'all. If you have any questions, please drop them now. But look what Benjamin said. That was cool. So I just wanted to share this because sometimes people share nice things. And, I want to talk about everyday AI, but through the lens of other people. So Benjamin said, if you're not already following Jordan Wilson, subscribe to the newsletter and listening to the Everyday AI podcast. You are literally missing the most important information related to tech, AI, and a multitude of other topics that affect you as a professional. Get with it. Shout out, Benjamin. Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. So as a reminder, if there's no other questions, I don't think there are. So please go to youreverydayai.com. And we're helping everyday people understand and actually use AI. Okay. So we have our live stream every day. We have our podcast and we have our free daily newsletter. So make sure you sign up. There's a link in the comments of this post. And I hope you're using GPT a little bit better today than you were yesterday. And I hope that you join us tomorrow for more Everyday AI. So thank you. And I hope to see you tomorrow and every day at Everyday AI. Thanks.
And that's a wrap for today's edition of Everyday AI. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a rating. It helps keep us going. For a little more AI magic, visit youreverydayai.com and sign up to our daily newsletter so you don't get left behind. Go break some barriers, and we'll see you next time.